Yep, stand up. Welcome back, guys. This is my first week of my sophomore spring semester of 2025. And so, because of this being the first week, there's not really much to talk about, like it is typically with every first week within school. It's just mostly about introduction stuff, so none of the interesting stuff has yet begun. But I do have a few things written down, so beginning of this week on Monday, we had no class because of the holidays. Thank God for Martin Luther King Day because we instead began the semester on Tuesday pretty much. That's when in person classrooms began. And as I said already, there's not much really worth noting, but for this semester, my classes include on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have um, a class in economics. It's like the first thing in the morning, and it's in a building that's like so far away from here, which is such annoying thing to deal with. But oh well, I don't really have anything else I can do about that. Then after that, 15 minutes later, I have a class of management. Now this one, I have two classes in management, but this one is specifically, focused on writing, it seems. So again, I haven't really gotten deeply into the classroom because it's the first week. So, we'll just have to see what that entails down the line. And so then 15 minutes after that class, I have a class in accounting um, in this just massive auditorium. Well, granted, so is the economics class. Just have very massive auditoriums, and it gets really crowded. I don't know if it's gonna eventually lessen throughout the weeks, but for the first week, those classrooms were crowded, and that's not something I really have experienced with past classes in auditoriums. I've never felt like, wow, this feels so crowded. There's like barely any room. Like back in the previous spring semester, I had like I believe two classes in auditoriums. One was for business administration, the other one was for geology. Geology practically empty. I'm surprised we even got an auditorium. Like I'm pretty sure we could have fit that amount of people that showed up in that class, like perhaps in several rooms. Like we did not need the auditorium at all. But the business administration one, that had more people definitely. But even still, I didn't feel like it was crowded. So I don't know what's going on with these other classes because I have three classes with auditoriums. The one that I've already mentioned is economics and accounting. They are very crowded, it feels, being in those auditoriums. And then the other one is in management, but not the writing one. This one is, I guess, less writing focused. Um, that's also in an auditorium, and it also feels incredibly crowded. There's like barely any room for all of us to be sitting here. But again, oh well. So yeah, those are the classes I have on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's economics first in the morning, then I have management writing extensive, and then I have accounting. So then for Mondays and Wednesdays, I have a math class first thing in the morning, and then I have the other management class. And then on Friday, it changes because on Friday, instead of having a management class, I have this accounting lab. And it's only on Friday, it's only once a week. And, it's pretty much just connected to the accounting class I have on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, but besides that, um, what else I have written down is basically another thing with the math class on Friday. Since we began the classes on Tuesdays, let me just start there. Um, Monday classes just weren't a thing. So the classes that I would have on Monday, we just began those on Wednesday. And so the class that math class I had on Wednesday, I don't know what happened with me. I don't know what went wrong. But when I was selecting the classes that I was going to choose for this semester back in like December, um, for some reason, actually I think it was probably before December, but for some reason I chose the building that was like the farthest away from mine. I don't know why, because that is way too much distance between where I live, this room, and the building where the math class was going to be taking place in. But luckily, the teacher pretty much just complained about the classroom, like it just wasn't great. And so they had the classroom changed from a different building, which is much closer to where I am at living. And it also, you know, is very close to the other building I have my accounting lab class in. Because the thing is, with at least the math class and the management class, that is like a block of like 1 hour apart. So I have the math class and then I have this space where I can do whatever, and then I have management class. When it comes to the math class and then the accounting lab class, I only have like 10 minutes to get to the correct spot. So I am not given much time to traverse through campus to get to the right building and to the right classroom. But with class change, thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. Because again, I have no idea what happened. Because there was an option for me to get to a class, a building that was actually close to where I'm at. But for some reason, I didn't choose it. And I'm pretty sure it was like at the same time. Someone was like, oh, well, it's conflicting times, and I don't like that. Like, no, like they were both at the same time, early in the morning. And for some reason, I didn't choose it. And when I realized that, I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Why did I select the class that's the farthest away from me? It was too late. Okay, the classes had pretty much all been full. So I couldn't select, I couldn't correct my mistakes. But thankfully, I didn't. Thankfully, the classes got switched. Okay, I'm not in that far away building anymore. But and then the final thing I want to say is on Saturday. So basically, Saturday, of course, it's not about classes; it's about work. And so I'm working only Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I used to work on Mondays in the previous semester as well, but I can't really do that because of timing. So I only work Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And so basically on Saturday, yesterday, um, like 1 hour ish into the shift that I was working, the internet just would not properly work. So we had like this like hour or two where we had no internet access. The receipts that show people's order, like what they bought, like what we're supposed to be making so that they can get their food, was not printing. And we need those to know, okay, what food are we supposed to make so that we don't end up, making the wrong thing. And so, we just had this moment where we had to go around the building, around to the tables to tell the people, like, yeah, so what was it that you ordered and what is your name so that we can, make it so that you can get, can eat what you bought. But luckily that only lasted for like 2 hours, I think, somewhat. And also, thankfully, the situation had it so that nobody could order food. That was the thing. The internet just was down completely. So no one could actually order food. So there wasn't any situation where like people, could order food, but we wouldn't be able to really tell that they ordered the food because the receipts would not be printing. Because there are situations that can happen like that, But luckily that was not this case, And I hope that we don't have to experience that again because that was annoying. But basically, yeah, that is it from the first week. Um, I'm pretty certain I actually got to say a lot this week, even if for a week that is not very eventful because, of course, first weeks are typically not that way. But thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all for the next video.